All right, here we go. Everybody see that? Hopefully. Okay, so
Yeah.
here is the training on how to reduce your taxes big time and keep more of your money. All right. So this is something I learned way in the beginning of when I started doing networking and basically trying to make money online. And it was very impactful to me because I had never thought of it before. I didn't realize that the US tax code is really set up to benefit entrepreneurs, right? I hadn't realized that. I didn't realize there's two sides to the IRS, right? There's the side of the typical W-2 employee, and then there's the side for the entrepreneur, investor, self-employed person, right? They actually have two different ways of taxing you. And so if you knew, right, that the average American has $100 a week withheld from their paycheck from the federal withholdings, that means that, of course, over the year, the IRS is taking about $5,000 from the average American. Okay. So, how much does the government take from you per week, right? Per year? I mean, look at your W-2 statement if you have a job. It's crazy. So basically, you have to think about Mondays are now tax days because you're basically giving 20% of your income to the government every week to do whatever they want with it, right? It's insane. So that means you spend one work day every week just paying the government. That's what that means. It's not cool. So we have deductions, right? And there's the standard deduction and all of that. And you can talk to your tax professional about what things are deductible and all that. But what if or what could you do with that extra money that the government takes from you every single year, right? What is the amount of money that you could put back in your pocket, right? So the $1 million question here is, how do you get that money back? The answer is you need to create more deductions. Okay. So you can get a bigger refund on tax day. And so instead of waiting until April, right, to do your taxes, you're excited to do them in February because you're going to get a big old chunk of money. So you can actually control now what the government does with your tax money. And you can, or sorry, you cannot control what they do with the tax money, but you can control how much you give them, right? So there are millions and millions of Americans who are taking tax deductions every year, and this is how it works. So here's the real question: why aren't you, right? Why aren't you taking all these deductions? You would have to be crazy to not be running a home-based business, especially if you live in the U.S. or Canada, okay? Because the government actually has it codified in the tax code that we get all these benefits for being an entrepreneur. Okay, we have amazing tax benefits. So here's some examples. Probably a lot of people don't know this. Part of your rent or mortgage, right, can be deducted around $200 a month, approximately, right, or $2,400 a year. Your cell phone, how much you spend on your cell phone, right? Let's say you spend $50 a month for your cell phone service. Okay, that's $600 a year. Meals, right? So if you go out to lunch or dinner and you talk about your business, it becomes a business meal, right? Even if it's just with your spouse. Okay, I learned this, that even just with your spouse, if you go out to dinner, but then during your meal, you're talking about, okay, this is what we're doing with our business, and this is who we're going to contact, and this is who we're going to prospect this week, and you do plans over dinner. Guess what? It's a business meal. It now becomes tax deductible. Internet, how much you spend for your Wi-Fi at home, right? That's tax deductible because you're using it for your business. Zoom or other conference lines and tools, right? Maybe $50 a month. Your electricity and your gas because you have your home office, right? So this space I'm in right now, this is my home office, and I get to write off a portion of what my utilities are because I have a home office. Office supplies, right? If you're doing old school stuff, right, like printing out things and mailing things and printing things, envelopes, right? All of that's tax deductible. If you have to spend any money for your initial starter pack to start your business, that is also tax deductible. Your monthly membership or subscription with shipping, that is tax deductible. It's a business expense, right? Leads, paying any money to get leads for your business is tax deductible. Your website and online tools that you might pay for, tax deductible. Business cards and business logos and clothing or gear, swag, that kind of stuff, all of it is tax deductible. It's awesome. So then there's even more, right? So just with those minimum deductions, you're looking at about over $10,000 every year saved on your taxes, which will go a long ways towards getting most of, if not all of your money back. But other possible things, if you travel to go to a conference or a convention or something, right? Any books that you buy for your education towards your business. If you have your spouse also as a member, right, that becomes tax deductible. Extra leads, stamps and postage, buying a new computer, right, or a new phone, again, with depreciation over the next 3 years. So there's another $5,500 in deductions that you can take right off the top of your taxes. So that's a grand total of about $15,685, and that's a low number for tax deductions. I just showed you can take that will get you most of what the government took from you back, right? It's really awesome. So there's one more reason, okay, why you should run your own home-based business. If you own your own home-based business, you also now have the right to put your money into something called an SEP IRA. An SEP IRA is a retirement account that you can put up to 20% of your income into, or about $45,000 a year, and write the whole thing off as a tax deduction. So let's say within 6 months to a year, you start making, let's say, $2,000 a week with your business, okay? And you decide that you want to put $1,000 a month into your SEP IRA. That means you can have another $12,000 in tax deductions on top of the $15,000 that we already took earlier. So there's a grand total of $27,000 in tax deductions that you can now take. So the more deductions you have, the less taxes you have to pay, and the higher your tax return will be, right? Because what it does is it takes you down in the tax bracket, right? You do all these deductions, and now instead of getting paid or having to pay out on the higher tax bracket, you actually get paid on the lower tax brackets, and so you're getting more back. But also, here's how you can do it, right? This is how you can kind of keep track. Now, this is the manual way, right? So you can just create 12 folders, like actual manila folders, right? And you label them rent, mortgage payments, meals, cell phone, home phone, internet, electric bills, gas bills, office supplies, durable equipment, education, product orders, advertising, all that, right? And you put it in a file box, and then you spend $5 to get a box and some folders, and you just put all your stuff in those, right? That $5 box saved me $20,000 last year, okay? But the other thing is you can do it online. So there's a tool called Hurdler. I use this tool. It's awesome. I love it, okay? Now, Hurdler, there's it's $50 a month for the paid version, which gives you all the tools and stuff, but you also have a free version. There's a free version if you just want to try it out. Okay, it does just the basic minimum stuff. But either way, if you do pay for the paid version, right, it's 100% tax deductible. And of course, you want to get leads, right, because that's 100% tax deductible. You want to get your business cards and clothing, all that. But then get Hurdler, because Hurdler keeps track of it all. It connects to your bank account and any other credit cards or anything you spend with, and it also tracks your mileage, right? So as on a daily basis, it's an app on your phone, or you can use it on the computer, and it will connect to your bank, and it'll say, oh, this expenditure you spent, $30 at Texas Roadhouse, or you spent, $60, who knows where, and you can then categorize it and determine, is that a personal expense or a business expense, right? You just swipe left or right. It's really cool on your phone. You just swipe it. You go, oh yeah, that's a business. Oh no, that was personal, right? And just swipe back and forth on your daily expenditures. And then it will also say, oh, I noticed you drove 10 miles today, right? From here to there. Was that a business meeting, or was that a personal commute, right? And you just categorize it. no, that was personal. Oh no, that was for business. And then it keeps track of your mileage because your mileage is also tax deductible. Okay. Now, Hurdler is a combination of a few different things. And there was a company in the past that I used to use. It was called TaxBot, but Hurdler bought TaxBot, right? And they combined. So Sandy Botkin, he was a former IRS auditor, right, and a CPA, and he wrote the book called "Lower Your Taxes Big Time." If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. Go get it. He goes through it all. He explains exactly what you need to do. As an IRS auditor, right? He knows all the secrets at the IRS, and he's the one that said you'd have to be brain dead not to start your own home-based business, okay? Because of all the benefits you get from that. So he said, if you decide to not do the steps listed above, at least with Hurdler, you're able to just do it all automated, it's just super simple. You don't have to do it every day. You can just kind of log in once a week maybe and just kind of go through and categorize all your stuff, or even just at the end of the year if you want to take several hours and go through and recategorize everything. But it is so awesome because it really does take you down to where it's like, oh, you almost made nothing this year. And so you're not getting taxed at all, right? Your tax bill is almost nothing. And now you're going to get a big old refund. So I pray that you truly use this valuable information I just gave to you. If you do exactly what I tell you to do here, you will save literally tens of thousands of dollars every year on your taxes. And that's over $200,000 that you could save in the next 10 years alone. And so if you are not running a home-based business yet, I hope this presentation was enough to help you see why it's so important to get into business today. And you can actually use that as a recruiting tool, because a lot of times you're going to get people that are going to say, I don't want to be part of something like that. Or, oh, I can't afford, every month to spend however much it is, whatever you're doing. Whether it's $50, $100, or whatever, to buy my products or buy my services, right? It doesn't matter, because at that point you can say, well, wait a second, do you really hate MLM that much that you don't want to get all these benefits, right? What do you hate more, paying taxes or paying paying for your auto ship or whatever? And usually people will kind of reflect on that and come back and go, yeah, you're right. I hate paying taxes more. so even if they're not making money, right? Even if they're not, in profit with their MLM business or their network marketing business, at least they're getting all the tax benefits and all the tax reduction. And so it's worth it, because think about that. If you spend $50 a month on an auto ship, $600 a year, but you're saving literally thousands of dollars in tax deductions, isn't that worth it? Doesn't that make sense, right? Even if you're not planning on building the business. So anyway, so I always like to point that out to people. And a lot of times they go, yeah, you're right. That actually makes a lot of sense. So that, my friends, is the training for today. Go get the book, Lower Your Taxes Big Time by Sandy Botkin. Go get Hurdler, the free version to start out with. If you like it, then you can do the paid version, because it has lots of other tools that you can use. But either way, this is a great way to save major money on your taxes and get a big old chunk of money at the beginning of each year, and just not have to waste so much money, because we know the enemies of wealth, right? A lot of the enemies of wealth are high interest, taxes, right? And just money wasted in so many things in life. So this is one way to fight back against those enemies of wealth. Hopefully it was helpful for you. And with that, we'll go ahead and call it a day. Thanks so much. And we'll see you guys all next week. Take care. We'll be in touch.
Thanks, Jeremy.
You're welcome.